Hi. Oh, I know I'm going live from glasses on. Oh, sorry. Can't see very well at the minute. But hi, anyway, happy Tuesday. I'm going to start doing this regular in the group, and I'm going to have shared this to my Instagram story. If you let me, I'm not sure how long you can share on there. Might put on my Instagram TV, is that still a thing? Anyway, so I'm going to start doing Top Tip Tuesday every week on a Tuesday, would you believe? So I'm going to be kicking it off with a bit of a tough one. I did do a Top Tip Tuesday last week, but just did it as like an actual post, and I kept it really light, and yeah, today we're doing the opposite of that. And I'm sat in the weirdest place possible, okay? This is just proper mum life at its best. Got a narky teenager up there, and I've got a baby in there who I've just bribed with crackers and yoghurt, and I'm sat on the floor in my front room. But here we go. And for once as well, which really isn't like me, I wrote some notes, because what I did, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get on live today. So I wrote this as a post to come out later tonight. So now I'm basically just going to like read out that post, but I'll pretty much just talk about it as we go along. So today is a tough one, and some of you might not be ready to hear this yet, and that's okay. We're all at different parts and stages, and I will have heard similar to this when I was at different stages and just been like, nope, 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 nope. And I'll have known this deep down from like the professional side of me as well, but just wasn't ready for it yet. So if you do find this one quite tough and not accepting of it, I wouldn't take that as an issue per se. I'd just take that as there's still some work to do before you get to this point. And equally, sometimes this can be enough to make you get to that point as well. So it's a bit one of them. But my top Tuesday tip is that you're not a victim. And you are a victim in the moment or during an incident that happens, maybe. But the only person who keeps you being a victim is you. That is the only person who prolongs your victim status. And I used to say a line so often, like all the time. And now I can see why. I can see why I stayed trapped by my mind for so long. And I used to say, it's not my fault what happened to me as a kid. I can't help not being able to cope with it. It's not my fault. And no, it wasn't my fault. That is completely true. And I couldn't stop what happened to me. I know I can't cope with the emotions, or couldn't cope with the emotions that it causes me, and the mental illnesses that it causes me all these years later. But it's only me keeping myself in victim mentality. Does that make sense? If you're listening, you think, yeah, I do get what you mean. Whether you think you've kept yourself a victim or not, but if you just get the gist of what I'm saying, just give me a reaction or an emoji in the comments. Because I get to choose if I take control of my emotions. So that's what I mean by it's me keeping me in that victim mentality, by me saying it's not my fault I can't cope, because I get to choose if I take control of my emotions or not. That is my choice. I get to choose if I take control of my life or if I just let life happen to me. If I just let emotions and feelings happen to me. I chose to accept that I needed to work on myself. I chose to accept I'm not a victim now. I was back then, but I'm not now, today, yesterday, tomorrow. I'm not a victim now. And I chose to accept that only I could help myself. It was me who had to do the hard work. There was no special pill. There was no words a counsellor can say or a therapist can tell me, do this and it will stop you feeling that, do that and it will stop you thinking this. It was only me. It was the hard work that I had to do. It was down to me digging deep and working on the core of me. Like, I don't mean my physical core, because I do that as well as, but the core of me. So, do you have this lean on your hand? For those of you who are ready to hear this, then that also means you're ready for stage 1 of my Stronger Than Your Mind Academy. It's a 5-stage process, and stage 1 is called Accepting My Mind. And it does exactly what it says on the tin. It gives you the tools and the strategies, because that's all a therapist or a counsellor can do. They can't say do this and that'll work. They can give you the tools and the strategies to tell you on where you need to do your digging, where you need to do your work, what you need to do to dig deep. And that is what we start on stage 1 of Accepting My Mind. So let me know if you want adding to the waiting list for that. Just pop me a message or put an emoji in the comments, and I can get you added to that waiting list. If you're listening thinking, yeah, right, that's it, give me stage 1, I'm ready to accept my mind now, I need to accept my mind now. And then also let me know what you might want as a tip for the coming months and weeks now, and I'll start generating a list of things I can talk about and give tips for every Tuesday. I've seen this in quite a few other groups and never really thought, and I've tried to do it in here before and been like, and it really works in other groups. Like I'm part of like a social media group, and a lady who posts in there, Heather Rose, who, if you need anything social media, go follow. And she does top tips, and I thought I pretty much get a gist of her work from all the posts and everything. And I seen one of her top tips about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh wow, that is like a really big tip. I didn't think that much value would be going into it, and that is what I want to do here. That top tip there is quite a biggie, and it is like I said, you might not be ready to listen to it yet, so that is what I want to do going forward. So I would love to hear your suggestions as well on what sort of things you would like me to cover in the Top Tip Tuesdays. And I'm going to try my hardest to do them live. If not, they'll be done as a post, and I'll post them more towards the evening time of day. And if you are watching this on Instagram TV or wherever I've thrown it in on my Instagram, then this is recorded live in the Facebook support group. So if you're not in it, pop me a DM or send me something, however you do it on Instagram. I'm more on Facebook than Instagram. So have an amazing Tuesday, and remember, you get to choose.